This is the Red Pill Mystic. Now, today's video is called "The Flesh is Eating You." So, a lot of guys, a lot of red pill guys, they get very triggered when I talk about food, especially when I talk about meat. Most people love eating meat, and they have an emotional attachment to food, whether they know it or not. They're actually in a romantic love affair with food that isn't even food. And they get triggered very deeply, very emotionally when you tell them that something they're eating is not good for them. And it's not even that it's not good for them, it's not even natural. And I'll explain why I know eating meat is bad for you. Now, in the caveman days, eating meat was a last resort when they could not find any natural grains, fruits, vegetables, stuff like that, right? If there was a severe drought or a severe situation where you couldn't get the real food, right? The only thing to do, the last resort, right, besides eating each other, would be to eat an animal. Now, eating an animal is really just one step above cannibalism. And I'm not one of these people that's like a vegan that is cares about the animals. I don't give a shit about the animals. I'm telling you what this stuff does to you. Now, I'll go into veganism in another episode because people think veganism is the answer. It's deeper than veganism. Veganism is a man-made diet as well. It's the truth will blow your mind, man. So let's stick with the flesh for now, right? So they'll say, well, meat is good for me. It has protein, right? First of all, your body doesn't need protein. Your body needs iron. Your body needs certain omegas, fatty acids, stuff like that that feeds the brain. All of that is found in herbs and natural grains, fruits, vegetables, stuff like that, right? So what the meat does that's bad for you, right? Meat has uric acid in it. Now, any flesh is acidic, right? When you eat flesh, that uric acid crystallizes in your body, gives you things like the gout. Uric acid literally, it's acid. It's going to melt away at your tendons, your joints, your muscle fibers. It's going to eat you. You think you're eating the flesh is actually eating you. Now, because our bodies were not designed to consume flesh, right? You got to understand that it takes so much more for your body to process meat than the minerals you get in return. It's a bad deal. It's a negative. Your body's minerals, right? Your so-called mineral bank account, your mineral account balance in your body. It takes a loss every time you eat flesh. You lose more minerals than you get because it's hard for your body to process something it wasn't meant to eat. Now, yes, there are nutrients in flesh, absolutely, but you're not meant to eat them. You're not meant to get those nutrients that way. You can get them from natural foods, natural plants, much easier, much more of them, and at no cost to you than if you go the cannibalism route and eat another living thing, right? Eat the flesh of something. So you got to remember that every time you're eating meat, minerals are being robbed from your bones, right? Robbed from your cells to digest that meat because it takes so much more, and you're only getting 10 to 20% of what you're losing. If you're losing 80% of your minerals, you're getting back 10 to 20 by eating meat, right? And you're gaining that uric acid as well. That's going to melt away at you over time. Now, on top of the uric acid, right, people can say, oh, well, you know what, that's just red meat, right? If I eat chicken or whatever, fish, I'm not going to have any of those problems. Now, that's not true. There's still acid in those as well. And don't forget about the parasites, guys. See, all that meat you're buying from the store, you buy that ground beef, or you buy that chicken, or you even buy that seafood, right? Take home your chicken breast or your beef fillet or whatever, or your fish, take it home and just leave it on the table. Don't even cook it. Just take it home, leave it on the table for a couple days. you're going to see worms start to crawl out of that shit, right? So if you eat this meat, right? If you eat this meat, someone will say, oh, well, you're supposed to cook it, right? You're supposed to just cook it and kill all those worms, right? Okay, here's the problem with that. When you cook the shit out of it, you literally kill the little bit of nutrition it had for you, that microscopic amount, right? When you eat it raw, you've killed that. So now you're just eating nothing. Now, when you eat that, nothing, you're getting no minerals. You're just getting robbed straight up. But when you eat it raw, right, which you'll get more minerals out of it. But here's the catch: when you eat it raw, or when you eat it medium or medium rare, now you have those parasites inside you. Now, I believe the what is it, like the Food and Health Administration or whatever, they say that, well, it's allowed that your supermarkets are allowed to sell meat that has parasites in it, right? Because they claim that the meat leaves your body before the parasites hatch, right? They say it's in and out within 24 hours, and that's faster than the parasites can leave the meat and enter you and start living off you. Here's the problem with that, right? Now, that's if you're eating raw meat, or if you're eating slightly cooked meat. A lot of you guys like your steaks medium rare. You like stuff rare. You like it bloody. Not all of you are eating it well done, right? And if you go to a restaurant, you never really know if they cooked it all the way. You always have to live with this fear in the back of your mind. You know, what if I'm eating undercooked meat and then the parasites? So here's the thing, right? So the government food administration, whatever, they say, well, it's allowed that we're allowed to serve this meat because within 24 hours, the meat will be out of you and the parasites won't hatch inside you. Here's the problem with that. How many of you guys have gotten constipated? How many of you guys have, sometimes you don't shit for 2 days, or sometimes you shit a day and a half later? You don't always, the meat doesn't always leave you quick enough for you to not get parasites, right? If you eat meat long enough, you are going to get parasites straight up. And I've fasted before, right? I've done like 20, 30-day fasts, and around day 7 to 14, you start to see parasites come out of you. So you're not going to get away with eating this shit and not have not only health problems, uric acid buildup, and parasites over time. To try to like maneuver around that and still find ways to eat meat, it's not even worth the effort. It's not even worth the stress of it. You can get 100% of that iron you need, 100% of those minerals you need from plants. No parasites, no uric acid, and you're not being robbed of minerals that are going to make your body break down faster. All these people that have health problems, all these people that have a bad back or a bad leg, or, their hip gave out, it's not from getting older. It's from your body being robbed of minerals for so many years, right? That these parts of your body are just so weak now, they start to give out, If you're on the right diet, if you're consuming the right foods, the foods God gave you, natural foods. And when I say God, I just mean nature. I don't mean some man in the sky. You're not going to have back problems in your 50s and 60s and 70s and 80s. You're not going to get arthritis. You're never going to get the gout. You're never going to just crack a bone for no reason. That's when you see someone who takes a slight injury and then they shatter a bone and they're like, damn, what the hell? Oh, it's because I'm getting older. No, it's because the food you were eating robbed you of minerals for so long that bone becomes frail, right? And then it gives out. I know men in their 80s, right, that are on a natural diet, right, natural foods, natural herbs. They could fall on their kneecaps on cement, and their knees wouldn't even crack or shatter. It wouldn't matter. They wouldn't even feel anything. They're so hard. They're so solid. They have all those minerals. They're not going to feel anything. They're not going to be breaking bones for no reason. They're not going to have any of these problems, right? So back to the meat, right? Everything you can get in the meat, every mineral, you can get in natural foods, right? Without any parasites, without any uric acid buildup. And I actually forgot about this one. That doesn't even factor in all the antibiotics and additional chemicals that your fucking governments are injecting in your meat to make it grow faster, to sell it faster, to turn a profit faster. See, you guys say, oh, eating meat is natural. We did it back in the caveman days, right? not even understanding that it was a last resort. On top of that, dumb fucks, the cavemen didn't eat meat that had antibiotics in it, right? If they had to eat meat a couple times a year to survive, right, while they gathered more of the right foods, they sure as hell didn't have antibiotics and chemicals that were made in a laboratory to make it grow faster, that accelerate the cancer process, right? Accelerate the deterioration of your body, right? And we already know this stuff gives you cancer. We already know this antibiotic-fed meat gives you cancer. So forget the parasites, forget the uric acid, forget that it's robbing you of minerals. How do you get around these antibiotics? And you say, oh, well, I can go buy grass-fed beef. Okay, bro. Okay, so you're going to pay top dollar for something that's robbing you in every way, right? It's just a bad deal no matter how you slice it, right? No matter how you cut it. I know we love the taste of it. I know it's juicy. I know a juicy steak. I'm not saying the stuff is disgusting. It tastes fucking delicious. And I'm not one of those people that gives a shit about protecting the cows or the chickens either. Fuck them, you know? Like, they're just cows and chickens. They're shallow animals. I'm talking about you, right? I'm talking about your own body, your own self-love. Why do you want to do this to yourself, you know? Why do you want to have to fuck yourself in 5 different ways, you know, when you eat this shit? When you can eat foods that give you, I'm talking 100 times the nutrition with 0 of the repercussions, right? So that's just my little thing about meat, right? Don't think that I'm one of these vegan, you know, protect the animal fucking people. Not at all. Not even in the slightest. It's just a bad deal for you. When you understand the science of the body, you know, when you understand your genetic makeup, when you understand that everything on this planet follows a cosmic law, right? When you go into nature, there are animals that can eat meat, and then there are animals that don't. Everything follows the law of nature, but you've been growing up in a society for the last couple hundred years. You haven't grown up in nature anymore, so you've lost your sense of who you are. You've lost your understanding about how your body works, right? You're confused. You think you're this kind of creature that can get away with doing anything, and only animals have to follow nature, right? Only the birds have to wake up at 6 a.m. and chirp, right? Only the vulture has to eat the carcass of a dead animal. Only the gorilla has to eat nothing but plants. Only the lion has to eat meat and not plants. But we as humans, we can do whatever we want. If we want to just eat plants, we can do that. If we want to just eat meat, we can do that. If we want to eat dead shit on the side of the road, we can do that, you know? If we want to eat each other, we can do that. But no, you can't. You see what I'm saying? There's a cosmic law you have to follow. And when you don't follow it, you pay the price. Straight up. Nature will kick your fucking ass when you go against it. You can do whatever you want, but understand you're going to pay a heavy price for it. Eating any kind of flesh is unnatural. It should not be done, right? The cavemen, they did it as a last resort, but this was not something they were doing every day. You see what I'm saying? So that's really just the whole flesh thing. And, on a closing note, I challenge you to do this. And I know this because I've done that, right? All the hormones in the meat before it dies. See, when they kill these chickens, these cows, these animals know they're about to die, right? So they're releasing a shitload of cortisol into their bodies, and the animal gets killed right as that cortisol is released. Then it gets frozen. Then you eat it, you absorb all those cortisol and all those hormones, and that's what makes you do and think crazy shit. Now, when you're eating it for so long, you start to become numb to how crazy it's making you. But I guarantee you, and I know this because I've done this, go 30 days without eating any kind of meat, right? Just eat your potatoes, eat your fucking salads, eat your macaroni, whatever the hell. And you know what? Even keep drinking your soda, keep smoking your cigarettes, keep drinking your beer, keep doing all that bullshit. But cut out the meat for a month. And then go to McDonald's and get you that big-ass Big Mac or those chicken nuggets or whatever. For the next couple hours, you're actually going to have crazy anxiety attacks because your body got so used to living without that cortisol, right? Without those animal hormones. When it's reintroduced to them again abruptly, it's almost like an overload. Your mind actually goes into a frenzy and you start to do and think crazy shit. And that's how you know. That's like the final nail in the coffin that this shit is bad for you. It's almost like that dead animal is placing a little curse on you for a couple hours for eating it, right? Now, of course, it's not really putting a curse on you. It's just nature. It's just science. It's just the chemicals you ate from that animal. But it's like, it's just like, it's a horrible deal at the end of the day. And that's why your society pushes it. That's why the government pushes it. They push the chicken, the meat, they push the milk on you, all that shit. Everything your society pushes on you, it's bad for you. So, to the red pill men, the same way that our society pushes being a mangina and a blue pill faggot onto us, look at how they push certain foods on us too. And if you're smart enough to know that foods they're pushing on you are bad for you, if you're smart enough to know that being a blue pill man and being a nice guy and getting divorced, getting married so you can get divorce raped is bad for you, why the hell wouldn't you think, okay, they'll push shit that's bad for me physically as well, right? So that's just some food for thought right there.